Justice James Omotosho has vowed to rule out the case against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu should Nigerian government and the lead council continue to play hanky-panky if they fail to comply with the defined template for this case. Your take on this very deadly signal?
Easier said than done. We know a lot of people in Nigeria are liars. But we are watching to see whether Omotosho has integrity. We are waiting to see whether he's different from others. If he really does what he said, then he's a man of integrity. Because I wonder why a case was brought before a justice, and those who brought the case cannot even provide justifiable evidence. You understand? So, if they fail to bring justifiable evidence and he strikes the case out, he has proven to be a man of integrity. And indeed, a jurist that everyone can look at and say, yes, this one is a jurist.
So Nigerians are still skeptic. It's not just by words, but the demonstration of actions.
Of course, action speaks louder than voice. You understand? And so these people, they keep making laughing stock of themselves. You brought the man. Sometimes you said you are charging him for terrorism. Sometimes you said you're charging him for treasonable felony. Sometimes you say all manner of things. Okay, now bring the evidences. You are giving all manner of excuses.
Along the same way, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was accused of inciting uh, people or Nigerians to NSAS. And
Did not start from Mazin Nnamdi. He wasn't a Mazin Nnamdi kind of thing. And you know he was not in Nigeria then. You understand? NSAS was a consensus determination of Nigerians to end police brutality and extortion. Police have been killing so many people, so many innocent Nigerians, so many youths. And Buhari said once a time that Nigerian youths are lazy. A lot of Nigerian youths came to refute it. But to some extent, you see, yeah, Buhari was right. Nigerian youths are afraid to die. Whosoever is afraid to die will live long a slave. And no slave can ever and will ever fulfill his destiny. Because slaves don't live according to the content of their destiny, but according to the will and the desires of their slave masters. And a slave master can never allow his slave to grow. For he will be afraid that if the slave grows, he will be free. And he, the slave master, wouldn't have the services of the slave anymore. You understand? That is what Pharaoh said when he had let Israelites leave. He came to say, oh, what have I done? Let the Israelites go. Who will do our farming? Who will produce our food? Who will produce this? Who will serve us? And all of that. And then he began to run after them. And he ended in the Red Sea. So Nigerian youths, to an extent, not just lazy in their mind, but cowardic. Fella said, I know one die, I know one quench, I know one mama day for house, papa day for house, but this man will slap your face and you will look like donkey. I know one die. And so your persecutors are sitting upon your right because they have seen you are cowardic and lazy in your mind. So it's high time Nigerian youth to be up, should be up and active as far as saving this nation from the hand of these old brigade politicians and military men who have sat upon this nation and a destiny of more than 250 million people. It is the responsibility of the youth to fight. Old men don't fight. They give counseling. They bring advice because they don't have strength anymore. But the youth can fight. Gowon fought Ojuku when he was young. Ojuku fought Gowon when he was young. Obasanjo, Babangida, Theophilus Danjuma, all of them fought against Biafrans when they were young. You understand? Can they come out now and fight? No. So elders are there for advice, but youths are there to fight because they have strength. So it is time for Nigerian youth, if they want to prove Buhari wrong, that they are not lazy. In their hand, they might not be lazy because their feet is strong. You understand? But you see them using their energy in wrong places. But this is the energy you can use to do positive things for yourself and for your children. Fight and save Nigeria from the hand of these criminal elements.
Unfortunately, Tinubu said, I'm expecting more defection from the party members or opponents. 22 state governors have endorsed Tinubu for 2027 on the basis of competency, on the basis of delivering dividend of democracy to Nigerians, or on the basis of sarcasm. What exactly is happening? What's a terrible state?
You know, it boils down to the same thing I'm saying. But you know one thing I have decided to do? One thing I have personally decided to do. In 2015, I could not vote because I lost my voter's card, and I tried to get a new voter's card, but I could not. And then I went home and I watched. I didn't vote for P2B, but I supported him and I wanted him to win. We all saw what happened, how P2B swept the whole place. But now, instead of P2B being president, Tinubu is president. In 2027, brother, I will do everything humanly possible to get my voter's card. And do you know who I will vote for? I will vote on camera. I will vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do his 8 years. Then 2031, we will present P2B. And let anybody in this country refuse Igbos from becoming president in Nigeria. If that happens, it will score one very important goal for us, Biafrans. You know what goal it's going to score? It's going to give total credence to what Nnamdi Kanu has been doing and saying. You understand? Tinubu will say, yeah, my predecessors did 8 years. Why wouldn't I do 8 years? Evidently, APC has retrogressed Nigeria. Evidently. But now, APC has to continue. Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself has to continue and finish his own 8 years. Do you know why, sir? Tinubu is not Jonathan. Jonathan said, my political ambition is not worth the blood of one Nigerian. Tinubu cannot say that. I remember during Obasanjo's third term B, a question was thrown at Ikemba Newi. He said, what do you think? The whole nation is heated up by Obasanjo wanting to go for third term. What do you think? Do we allow these people to destroy Nigeria? He said, calm down. Ikemba said, calm down. He said, Obasanjo is like a bull in a Chinese shop. He said, Nigeria is like that Chinese shop. He said, a Chinese shop is a place where you have a shop where you have beautiful things and most of them breakable. He said, when a bull gets into that shop, you don't force the bull out. You pet the bull out. Because you force the bull, it will destroy the shop and destroy the products in the shop. And so that we had to pet Obasanjo out and not force him. And I borrow a lead from that. You don't force Tinubu. If you force him, you destroy Nigeria.
Is there anything left as remnant in Nigeria today where people are hungry? That is insecurity, there is hunger. Nigerian government could no longer guarantee the safety property, the safety of life and property of her citizens. Isn't that a failed state? What is left to be desired about Nigeria?
Now, someone in coma is better than someone that is dead. You know? Because you can revive him, you can bring him back to life. You understand? So Nigeria is in a deep coma, but there is a possibility that will wake her up and go back to where we missed it and correct it. You understand?
Or finally cross the line.
That's why I'm talking about 2031.
Would
Because
Nigeria survive before then?
we will survive. The world survived the First World War, survived the Second World War. We survived the Civil War. You understand? So we'll survive this. You understand? 2031, if they refuse to give Igbos power, then they would have told us that Nigeria belonged to the Hausas and the Yorubas alone. And we, Igbos and our Eastern brothers, would have no choice to say, well, the world has seen it. And then we move. And if anybody stands against us, we will crush him.
Or anyone who remains, because the life
All
of the
will not
eastern
perish in one
regions
day.
have been threatened as
All
it
can
stands
never
now.
die in one day. All. If they couldn't annihilate us through the pogrom, all cannot die in one day. There must be a remnant. Don't forget, we are Jews. Our God is mighty. And he has sworn to keep us because he receives our worship. If Jews are eliminated, who will worship Elohim Israel? He's preserving us for his own use. So nobody can exterminate Igbos. Nobody. Nobody.